Hi, I am Roxy. I am here to ask you to do something for Steve6464. Can you watch as much of the video that you can? Then before you leave a comment. Make it a critique, a constructive criticism. Thanks. Oh, he's about to start. Bye.
Foxtrot Delta Tango, Foxtrot Delta Tango, 1, 2, 3, can you hear me? Foxtrot Delta Tango, Foxtrot Delta Tango, up a little higher, Foxtrot Delta Tango. Okay, hi, I am Steve6464. This is season 13 of Let's Build This, part 20, working on a 15-year-old project. There she is, right there. And close to getting started on time, but I had unplugged all my cameras, well, one, and forgot to plug them in when I started OBS, so I had to go shut OBS off and plug all the cameras back in. Everything seems to be plugged in, on, working fine. So before we get started, let's see what we did last week. Alright, Foxtrot Delta, whoa, Foxtrot Delta Tango, Foxtrot Delta Tango. Okay, we'll try there, and why is there a camera? Oh, I turned off the wrong thing. Okay, I wanted to turn off the review, but I turned off the upper left camera. Alright, so it was suggested last week that I turn off the autofocus on this camera because when I'm doing this thing it pulsates. I took a quick look, I couldn't find anything. Maybe I'll take a closer look after the stream and see if I can't do that, but in the meantime I guess you're going to have to put up with it bobbing in and out. Alright, so enough of that. Let's get started. Okay, so I remember last week I remember my fat head getting in the way. So let's see if maybe we can alleviate that a bit. And I'm going to need these in a moment. So let's move this camera over to here. Right. And my working area is right about here. So see if I can get the camera centered where my finger is. And that's not too bad. This camera, I'm going to leave this camera. And let's see now, if I lean in, I'm still getting my fat head in there. Huh. How to fix that. Let's see if we move it even further. What would be forward from my perspective? Try there. Alright, if I'm working and I forget, I lean in. Yeah, that's not going to be too bad. Alright, for now let's move this back. I think most of today is going to be figuring out how to attach the tissue, and I want to find out if we need tissue on the bottom, because the picture on the box, I'll pick it up later, picture on the box, I don't know how well you can see that, doesn't seem to have tissue on the bottom side of the wing. So I'll have to find out if that's a artist rendering error or the God's honest truth. But before we get too far into things, some house cleaning. Let's filter our solvent from last week. There does seem to be some precipitation that settled on the bottom. So maybe the filter will filter out the rest. If not, maybe we can maybe this will be a project that takes several weeks. Filter, funnel, filter, the thing we want to be filtered. Yeah, there's some participants in the bottom. Rinse this out there with warm water, soap and warm water. Let this sit. I am disappointed that more did not get filtered out. Okay. So throw this out. Set this aside. Cap this up. Set this aside. And I just realized I didn't bring something to drink with me. So it looks like we're going to need to take a break and get something to drink. And I think this be right back scene should not be the girls, but should be Roxy and the funky music. So enjoy.
Hi, I am Roxy. Just hanging out in the lobby getting some popcorn. Do not worry, Steve6464 will be right back.
Älä huoli, Steve 6464 tulee kohta takaisin.
Moenie bekommerd wees nie, Steve 6464 sal nou terug wees.
አይጨነቁ ስቲቭ 6464 ወዲያውኑ ይመለሳል።
Neboj se, Steve 6464 se hned vrátí. Eskeskatu, Steve 6464 laster itzuliko da.
Huwag mag-alala, babalik kaagad si Steve 6464.
Ne aggódj, Steve 6464 mindjárt visszajön. Bare rolig, Steve 6464 er straks tilbage.
唔使擔心，史提夫6464會即刻返嚟。
Keine Sorge, Steve 6464 wird gleich wieder da sein.
Ne vous en faites pas, Steve 6464 sera de retour tout de suite.
Μην ανησυχείς, ο Steve 6464 θα γυρίσει αμέσως.
Ne vous inquiétez pas, Steve 6464 sera de retour tout de suite.
Maak je geen zorgen, Steve 6464 is zo terug.
别担心，史蒂夫6464马上就回来。
Ekki hafa áhyggjur, Steve 6464 kemur strax aftur.
Don't worry, Steve 6464 will be right back.
אל תדאג, סטיב 6464 יחזור מיד.
चिंता मत करो, स्टीव 6464 तुरंत वापस आ जाए.
别担心， 史蒂夫6464马上就回来。
I'll be right back. Hi, I am Roxy. Just hanging out in the lobby getting some popcorn. Do not worry, Steve6464 will be right back.
À la Huoli.
Alright, Foxtrot Delta Tango. Foxtrot Delta Tango. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's try it there. Let me know if it's too loud or too soft. Oh. I got my drink. I'm all ready to go. And let's get back to this scene. Okay. So today's going to be mostly reading instructions and figuring out how to assemble the tissue paper. Instructions. Tissue paper. Anything else? No, not yet. Well, I seem to be missing something, but we'll worry about that. Oh, there it is, I think. Alright, we'll worry about that when we get to that. Okay. Alright, so let's see if we can find the instructions for covering it with paper. Yes. Dry covering. So after all the frame has been sanded smooth, they must be pre-doped. We've done that the last 2 weeks. So that when you apply the tissue covering, the dope used to adhere the tissue to the frames will not be soaked up by the wood. Oh. We were supposed to use what do we have? Clear gloss. I don't think that's the same as dope. But it's the only thing I have, so we'll try it. Okay. So then you apply the tissue covering. The dope used to adhere the tissue to the frames will not be soaked up by the wood. This makes it much easier and faster to cover the model. Because of the stringer and form construction, use a narrow 1/4 or 1/2 inch wide brush to dope with. That's what I was using right here, see? Brush to dope. Use dope thinner about 50%. Use dope thin to 50% with thinner to about the consistency of milk so it will brush easily and dry fast. The outside surface of all stringers, forms, ribs, leading edges, trail edges, spars, and tips should be given at least 3 coats of clear dope, at which time you will note that the dope surface will begin to shine a little. This shows that you have sufficiently built up of dope on the wood. Lightly sand wood between coats of dope. These are 2 methods of covering the model with tissue. There are 2 methods of covering the model with tissue. One is to cover with the tissue dry, and the other is to cover with the tissue wet. When covering with dried tissue, smaller areas are covered at one time. Any area that is covered dry should be tried first to make sure it will not bunch up or wrinkle excessively before doping it in place. The covering scheme shown on each plane is suggestive of dry covering. For dry covering, cut the tissue slightly larger than the area to be covered, and after doping it in place, trim excess tissue with a single edge razor blade. Right, but this still doesn't answer the question if we need to cover the bottom of the wing. I mean, it gives us a very nice illustration on how to section it off. Okay. Dry covering the frame. Fuselage. Cover the fuselage in sections as shown on the scheme, starting from the front or former B1 and covering vertically between forms. The grain of the tissue should run lengthwise with the fuselage. The grain of the tissue runs with the width of the let's try that again. The grain of the tissue runs with the width of the tissue sheet as you received it in the kit. Wing. On straight tapered wing, you can cover the complete top and bottom of each wing. Okay, that answers that question. Complete top and bottom of each wing panel. The diharro break and the last tip rib with 1 piece of tissue. Use separate pieces of tissue for the top and bottom and center sections of the tips. Excuse me a moment. Okay, on the straight tapered wings, you can cover the complete top and bottom of each wing panel between the diharro break and the last tip rib with 1 piece of tissue. Use several pieces of tissue for the top and bottom of the center section and tips. Alright, I think what they're saying is looks like what they're saying is 1 piece of tissue from here to here, 1 piece of tissue then mirrored side from here to here, piece of tissue here, although this part, you can't even see that here, this part will be get the clear plastic, and then another piece of tissue for here. I imagine something similar for the bottom of the wing, maybe from here would be one, from here to here would be one piece, one piece, one piece. So, but I think the best thing to do is probably do the fuselage first, the elevator and rudder next, and then if we feel confident, the wing. Okay. Yeah, I was right about the sectioning then. The top and bottom of each tail surface can be covered with one piece of tissue. The tissue grain should run spanwise on the stabilizer elevator and vertically on the fin rudder. After the frames are covered, they should be wet with water by using an atomizer or by using some of the tissue folded several times. Right. Okay. So, let's improvise. So, I used up all the dope that's covering the wing. So I'm going to try to see if this gloss will work. And it said to mix it 50-50. Just still has water in it. Maybe that was thinner than that water. Okay. So let's take some of this. Pour it into our baby food jar. And then some of this MEK. About 50-50. That poured fast. I think next time, instead of pouring it from this, pour it from here. Oh, that spilled on a sword. No more paper towels. The last one. And this stuff takes the printing right off of the covering. Okay. Grab one of my bamboo forks and mix this up. And my tabletop is now cold and sticky from that mess. Let's cap this. Okay, why isn't this cap? Okay. All right. So section 1 is this part here. And I am going to need scissors. And a ruler. And I am going to cheat and use a Sharpie and not a pencil. Oh yeah, that's just eating up my cover. When I'm done with this project, I'm going to clean up this corner, get everything out, pull this table out, and refinish it. This is wonderful. The roller is too big. So this is going to be a little more than 2 1/4 wide. And 2 inches deep. We can't push it back any further. There we go. And there goes one. Alright, so they're telling me the grain of this looks like it's going this way, not this way. I thought they said it would go the long way. Alright. So what did I said 2 1/4. Use the inches side. And what did I do with my Sharpie? See if I can adjust and get more light. Definitely gonna need that. Right now. This is too busy. Or maybe it's just too white. Let's try something darker. Yeah, now I can see what's going on. I'm going to go 5/16, 2 5/16. Alright, and then 2 inches. 2 1/16. Am I heading away doing this? Nope. Good. Hey Roy, how are you? Time to add the skin. Yes, sir. Okay, either these scissors are sharp. I didn't want to tear that. Or they're not intended to cut tissue paper. Alright, so test fit it to see if it's going to bubble. Probably not. This is a fairly flat. Surface. Alright. Overlap it. Okay. So, let's see if this concoction I mixed up is going to work. No, I can't open the jar. Yeah, I think the next piece I'm going to try the X-Acto blade on. Okay, so let's dope this up. And doesn't seem like it's gonna fall off. We'll see how that dries next week. Alright, the next piece is, I need a smaller ruler. I know I have a 6-inch ruler. And I traded length for girth. This ain't much better. Alright, this is telling me it's 2 inches by, this time it's 2 inches by 2 inches. So, X-Acto blade. think the exact, oh yeah, it is. Let's just have the X-Acto blade in the bottom of the box we were temporarily holding our tools in. That makes a lot of sense. Coffee filters. Put that one on the floor. Well, this is unused piece. This is the piece we started. And it's got a nice tear in it. This is when you hope they give you extra. Yeah, I think this blade's going to work nice. How do I want to straighten this up a bit? That's why we're going to cut things a little bigger. I don't seem to have a steady hand. I said this was, what, 2 by 2? And yes, I'm glad. Back when the president of Staples was coming in, and I was cleaning up my area, and I have that desk organizer for pens and stuff, and there's little pockets in it. Somebody had taken a whole bunch of new blades for the box cutters. Wrapped tape around it, but still had the cutting edge exposed. Threw it in one of these pockets, in such a way that if you were to reach into that pocket without knowing what was in there, you would have chopped a nice gouge out of a finger, if you're lucky. Put the tissue somewhere where we can see it and remember where it's at. And depending how work on the table, work where the camera can see, and depending how much we get covered today, next week maybe I can wet this and have the paper shrink up tight. go where I want you to go and then stick there. Okay. 3 to charm. Why are you going always to the same spot and not to the new spot that I want you to go to? Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You are going too high up. I want you to go from the bottom up. You know, I'm going to cut a new piece. I'm done with this piece. This piece has pissed me off. It is written out of the will. And I'm going to make this a little bigger then. I'm going to make this 2 1/8 by 2 1/8. I understand that part of the problem is working in a tight spot. And I probably should have put the skin on before I glued everything. And maybe it would have helped if I read all the instructions before I started. But hey, if this went smoothly, it wouldn't be entertaining. Alright, so 4 is a charm? It's still rising up too high. Which is never anything that she said. Okay, we'll have to hope that little pucker, when we wet it next week, will shrink up. Okay. 2 down, 1 billion to go. And I'm starting to think my concoction's a little thin, so I'm going to add a little more dope. To thicken this up. And it's going to take longer to dry, which is kind of what I want. To give me more time to adjust the paper. Alright, the next section . Without the ribbing, it's kind of hard to tell. But I think they want 3. Okay, we've done this 1, 2, 3. I can't see that. I don't know if they want 3 to wrap around. Probably. So I'm going to do 3, then from this rib over the top down to this rib. So then that begs the question, should I do go back and forth to port, starboard, port, starboard, port, starboard, or just do port, 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 port? Port, port, top, port, top, port. I'm just going to keep working on the left and top and then do the right side. So now the challenge is I need a fabric the tailor's tape measure. I don't have one right here. So good news, we get to do another Be Right Back. So let's go to the main scene. And I don't know if you were here, Roy, but I tried to address the autofocus adjusting, and I couldn't find anything right away. But maybe I'll look into it more deeply after this. So this is the second Be Right Back, and the first one I used was Roxy. So I'm going to use the girls. So, be right back.
Moment. Do not worry, Steve. Oh!
Do not worry, Steve will be right back. We are having a moment.
Do not worry, Steve will be right back. We are having a moment. Oh.
We are having a moment. Do not worry, Steve will be right back. Oh, my!
Oh my,
Do not worry, Steve will be right back. We are having a moment.
Don't worry, Steve will be right back. We are having a moment. Oh my.
Oi, do not worry, Steve will be right back. We are having a moment.
I'm here for you, Steve. Remember, I'll be right here when you come back.
Oh, we are having a moment. Do not worry, Steve will be right back.
We are having a moment. Do not worry, Steve will be right back. Oh, I.
Do not worry, Steve will be right back. We are having a moment. Oh.
Do not worry, Steve will be right back. We are having a moment. Oh, my.
Do not worry, Steve will be right back. We are having a moment. Ooh, my.
Don't worry, Steve will be right back. We are having a moment. Oh my.
Oh my sweetie, we are definitely having a moment. Don't worry, Steve will be right back. Oh my.
Steve will be right back. Do not worry. We are having a moment. Oh my.
Do not worry, Steve will be right back. We are having a moment. Oh my.
Oh my, we are having a moment. Do not worry, Steve will be right back.
Do not worry, Steve will be right back. We are having a moment. Oh.
Do not worry, Steve will be right back. We are having a moment. My.
Foxtrot Delta Tango. Foxtrot Delta Tango. Foxtrot Delta Tango. 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me? Alright. So how do I sound, Roy? Might be a little loud. Yeah, I'm still a little loud. I'm going to bring it down a bit. I mean, I want it a little louder because I'm going to be on the other side of the room, but alright, let me know. I got my tape measure, and let's switch back. Alright. So I'm going to start at 1, so remind me to subtract 1 when I'm done. All right, 4.5, 3.5. 3.5 by 2. I don't know, 2.25. Right, so I said what's 3.5 by 2.25. I want to go a little bigger than the 3.5. So I'm going to go 3 5/8. This isn't sticking. -1 on the volume. Said it sounds okay. Yeah, okay, it started to, yeah, I noticed that. On the YouTube control panel, it went blank for a couple seconds and then came back on. Oh, -1. Yes, thank you. To subtract the 1. Yes, I did. Thank you. Okay. You know what I'm afraid of? I want to do this and I don't want to do this because I might bump the brush. First of all, I'm afraid that the brush is going to get hard because it's not being used frequently. So I want to soak it in the solvent, but now I'm afraid I'm going to bump the handle or something and knock everything off. Alright, so let's get our tissue paper. And we need to cut this. Grain is running this way, right? And that's the way they want the grain to run on the plane. So I'm gonna, this would be like a nice shape, but I'm gonna have to cut, instead of a horizontal rectangle, I'm gonna have to cut a vertical rectangle. So my first measurement, okay, so this measurement now is going to be the 2 1/4. Or 2 2 dimes and a nickel. Yes, thank you for reminding me to subtract the 1 inch. Okay, and I said 3 5/8. 3 5/8. See, I thought you meant the -1 for the how many decibels for the sound. But yeah, I do remember saying, remind me to subtract the 1. I probably don't need to be this precise, but my hand is not that steady anymore, and I probably end up with something that's nowhere near straight. brush. Dope up my brush. And dope up my plane. Boss, the plane. It's not gonna make it. Boss, the plane is going to crash in the ocean. If Steve 64 had used the proper doping method, it wouldn't happen. I just broke a piece. Damn it. So guess what we're doing next? We are going to fix the piece we just broke. Damn. I think every stream I have broken something on this plane. See, I broke that right there. I don't think this dope is cutting it. Probably gonna have to use go back next week and redo this. With the proper materials. Okay. So in the meantime, wait, isn't this fitting? Okay, well this means I can't store this over the week. What is this? Precise is nice, so not done twice. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Well, these are all paper towels. Vinegar, paint thinner soaked paper towels. And we are out of paper towels in the house. I guess the next best thing is my coffee filter. would still feel better if I could get this screwed down. Okay, well, que sera. All right. So far, you're still in the lead with naming this guy, Roy Brown. No one has seemed to come up with an alternative. What am I doing? I am trying to fix that. Okay. Get my wax paper. Get my glue. It's an old shirt. I can use it as a rag. I say so. If the lid's on it, you can't take something out. Alright, well, we'll just wait for that to dry. No, we're not going to wait for that to dry. We are just going to be more careful. Maybe. Drink time. What did I just hit? I hit my stool. That's what I hit. Okay. It seems that is a fitting name, Roy Brown. It's credited for shooting down the red. Really? Okay. Well, then I might just keep it then. Okay, what am I doing? Alright, so now I'm going to measure for section 4. And section 4 is also 2 inches front to back. And inch and 3/4 top to bottom. But I'm also going to make that 2 inches. I'm going to make it 2 1/8 by 2 inches. Tissue paper, straight edge. I said 2 1/8 by 2 inches. Two and an eighth. By 2 inches. Straight edge, X-Acto blade. And back to the doping. Did I measure that? We'll find out. Probably had to measure it. Had to have measured that. Yeah, way big. It's more than big enough. But the dope has dried. If you don't get this in the first shot, I'm going to need a shot when I'm done with this. Son of a... Where did it go? It fell to the floor. I bet it went under. Sacre bleu. I'm going to cut this again. I'm going to cut it even bigger than what I had. And I forgot. Okay, I'm going to go. See, the actual size is, if I measure it properly, is 2 1/8. So I'm going to go 2 3/8 by 2 inches. I bet this is it. Oh no, this is just scrap. Straighten up that rough edge. It's a Sub-Zero ruler. Two and 1/8, right? No, that's what it is. 2 1/4 by 2. Two and 1/4. I'm going to need a new piece of dark construction paper here, so by 2 1/4. By 2 inches. do one more thing. The grain is going this way. Let's dope this up. And boom. And boom. Stick. Don't stick to my fingers. Stick to the balsa wood. Christmas. Probably can't even see what I'm doing, right? I'm off camera. Stick to the balsa wood and not to the fingers. Just like that. Good piece of tissue paper. Maybe I shouldn't be so wanting to get it attached. Okay, hooray. Son of a bitch. Alright, this is cut up too much. Let me get another dart sheet. Dang, it's listing. Dang it, nope, it isn't listening. Like a stubborn child, it is not paying attention to its superior. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I didn't look at the. It wants me to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They don't 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But hey, it's my project, so I'm going to do it my way. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And if they don't like it, they can just stick their tongue out at me. Alright, so we're doing, we're going to do this section here. Which means the fabric tape measure. Again, we're going to have to subtract 1. Alright. 1. Get 4 inches, 3 inches. Let's go 3 1/4 by 2 1/2. Write this down before I forget. 2 1/4. I forgot to subtract the 1, didn't I? Yeah, 2 1/4 by 2 1/2. No. 3 1/4. Breathing too many fumes. Right, I can't think anymore. No. I can't put it on a separate monitor. It is on a separate monitor, but it's on the other side of the room. Okay. 3 1/4 by 2 1/2. I had the 2 1/2 right. Alright, so this is going to be a vertical rectangle. Three 1/4 by 2 1/2. Excuse me. Two 1/4. I'm actually going to use what I already have here. 2 5/16. By 3 1/4. No, that would be, I want 2 1/2 by 3 1/4. grain. This time I'm going to use an arrow so I don't confuse the grain line with this mistake line. Oh, I've been brain damaged for many years now. That was the part I just glued. Good thing the glue is still wet. You know what I'm going to do to let that part dry. This is going to be the last piece, and then I'm going to sign off. I do have the fan to my furnace running, so I'm hoping that kind of thins out the fumes a bit. Oh, that was way too big. Did I forget to subtract the one? Okay, let's see how that holds over the week. So this is done. Today is done. Get this out of the way. Clean up my brush, scratch my ear with scope on it. Alright, let my thinner sit over the week. I'm not using paint thinner, so I'll transfer this to this jar that I know will seal. Right. I think the problem with this jar is it ate away at this rubber insert. Now see, now it works. So whatever. All right. The only thing I have to clean up is the brush in this jar. And let's shimmy over here. Change the scene. Will you paint the opaque enough to, yeah, I'm gonna use, well, first I'm gonna do, get it covered, right, here, let me do this. Alright, first thing I'm gonna do is get it covered, right? And then spray it, wet it, and then when when it dries from wetting, it will shrink and tighten up. And then if I still have any of this left, I'm going to brush over the skin, and then when this dries, I will hit it with these spray paints. Alright. This for the bottom, the sky blue. And then the olive drab and the sand beige for the camouflage for the top and sides. And yes, I believe that should cover up the marker. So that said, and we're gonna have to put up with the autofocus adjusting itself for now, maybe forever. But yep. Roy, thank you for stopping by. I hope the rest of your day is good. Get some sleep. Thumbs up. Yep. And yes. And anyone else out there watching this live, it doesn't look like it, thank you for making it this far. Anybody watching this in the future, thank you for making it this far in the video. It'd be really great if you were to just say hi in the comments. If you like watching someone struggle doing crafts, please like and subscribe. If you know someone who likes this sort of thing, let them know about it. And have a good day. Be safe. Be a friend to someone who needs a friend. And the last thing I have to say is, look, an echo chamber of derp. Derp, 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 derp.
Derp, 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 derp. Derp, 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 derp. Derp, 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 derp. Derp, 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 derp.
Perspective. Gravity is not a force.
Einstein replaced Newton.